Hello and welcome to the Prime Desk on S24 Television. We are live from Abuja, Nigeria's capital city. I am Gloria Atta and I'll be bringing you the stories making headlines across Nigeria and around the world. But first, here are today's top stories. ₦160 trillion. Stakeholders demand safer schools, better future for girls. Deadly school shooting shocks Thailand. Now the news in details. President Bola Tinubu has commended Nigeria's economic management team and the Nigerian Exchange Group, saying ongoing economic reforms are restoring investor confidence and laying the foundation for long-term growth. President Bola Tinubu says positive economic indicators and growing confidence from experts show Nigeria's economy is on the path to recovery. Speaking while receiving the board and management of the Nigerian Exchange Group at the State House, Abuja, the president praised the economic management team led by Finance Minister Taiwo Oyedele, the Central Bank Governor Yemi Cardoso, and other key officials for driving reforms that have stabilized the economy. The Nigerian Exchange Group told the president that the value of listed stocks has grown from about 30 trillion naira in 2023 to 160 trillion naira, with projections of 230 trillion naira before the end of the year. President Tinubu urged the private sector to increase investments, create jobs, and support economic growth, expressing confidence that Nigeria's ambition of building a $1 trillion economy remains achievable. He also announced plans to reform and eventually list the NNPC on the capital market.
And invest wisely. Take a risk. It's one of the reasons why I backed Aliko Dangote.
Thank you very much.
Before I became president.
Yes.
And, may God bless the soul of Mamadou Buhari. When we were talking, this refinery and all of that, why should we have this? Okay, we find a way. If we can push into the private sector, if we can support the private sector, it will be a great benefit. And they did it, so fine. And when I came in, okay, Naira for the crude, let's stabilize the currency. And no need for letters of credit and paperwork. Let's build a trust that can work. And it's not a unrealizable ambition to push Nigeria. We have the population, the brain, the
Resources.
audacity
Yes.
to shoot for $1 trillion economy. It's achievable. It's achievable. You look at yourself and you ask questions. What are we producing that other nations will? How do we collaborate with other countries? How do we get this listening down like you have identified? Before asking is not a big problem. We look at it. The expansion is for all for us. I could look back and look at
Moving on to politics, presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress, Atiku Abubakar, says he has raised concerns over what he describes as a suspicious payment into one of his private bank accounts. In a statement by his senior special assistant on public communication, Frank Shaibu, Atiku said the transfer came from an unknown individual with the narration, "Contribution Electioneering Campaign." The statement said neither Atiku nor his campaign team authorized or had knowledge of the payment. It questioned how unknown persons obtained the confidential banking details of a private account, warning that such access could put citizens' financial privacy at risk. Atiku's camp said the development was troubling, especially ahead of the 2027 general elections, and urged security agencies and the public to take note. The statement described the incident as an attempt at character assassination, while insisting that Atiku remains focused on offering Nigerians what it called credible leadership and practical solutions. Still talking politics, a former staunch supporter of Rivers State Governor Siminalayi Fubara, Chijioke Ihunwo, says his decision to work with the Rainbow Coalition, aligned with the FCT minister, Nyesom Wike, does not amount to betrayal. Ihunwo, who spoke during an interview on a sister television station, said he is following Governor Fubara's call for peace and reconciliation in the state. He explained that his loyalty remains with the governor, adding that supporting Fubara means respecting his decision to move forward with the coalition. Ihunwo said in politics, anything can happen, insisting that political realignments should not be viewed as victory or defeat for anyone. The former Obiakpo local government caretaker chairman also dismissed claims that he and other allies gave Governor Fubara wrong political advice during the crisis between supporters of the governor and the FCT minister. He said he has a personal relationship with the governor and has continued to support his leadership. Ihunwo, who previously accused Wike's camp of attempting to destabilize Rivers State, said political circumstances change and people must adapt. He also rejected calls for him to apologize to Wike, the Rivers State House of Assembly Speaker Martin Chinda, and other political figures over his role during the crisis. The former youth leader said he has no regrets about his actions, adding that he acted based on his convictions at the time. Ihunwo said he will now work with Wike's supporters in Obiakpo ahead of the 2027 general elections, following Governor Fubara's directive. Now, protecting children from violence, insecurity, and other emerging threats requires more than policies. It demands collective action. That was the central message as academics, development partners, child rights advocates, and students gathered at the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, for the National Association of Arts Students' annual Girl Child campaign themed Protecting Today, Securing Tomorrow. Hadiza Galadima has the details.
Protecting children from violence, insecurity, and other emerging threats requires more than policies. It demands collective action. That was the central message as academics, development partners, child rights advocates, and students gathered at Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, for the National Association of Art Students' annual Girl Child campaign themed Protecting Today, Securing Tomorrow. Delivering the keynote address, speakers warned that insecurity continues to disrupt children's education, leaving millions, especially girls, out of school and vulnerable to exploitation. They called on stakeholders, individuals, the government to strengthen child protection system, invest in safer schools, and ensure every child has access to quality education.
The insecurity we are seeing, we know there are data, there are evidence that some of these international NGOs are actually feeling some of these crises. Why should you rent a place for 10 years to fight insecurity? Madness. It means you are anticipating that the insecurity will continue. So you're thinking it, and the insecurities continue. You ask your question. So as a country, the question starts from all of us in this room.
Another keynote speaker broadened the conversation, describing climate change as more than an environmental challenge. The speaker warned that climate related disasters are worsening poverty, displacement, and school dropouts, particularly amongst girls. The address called for climate resilient schools, stronger social protection programs, and policies that place children at the center of climate adaptation efforts.
When many people hear the word climate change, they think of rising temperatures, floods, droughts, or changing weather patterns. But today, I want to approach this topic differently, and I will call us to think differently. Climate change is not just an environmental issue, it is a child protection issue, it is an education issue, it is a health issue, it is a security issue, and ultimately, it is a development issue.
During the panel session, experts shifted attention to practical solutions, stressing that preventing gender based violence begins with stronger families, informed communities, and greater awareness.
For too long, the story of the girl child in many parts of our society has been written in the passive voice, limited or quietened. Today, we declare that it is time to shift from the passive voice to the active voice.
The panel also challenged the media to go beyond reporting incidents by investigating root causes, demanding accountability, and producing educational content that promotes positive values from infancy through adolescence.
Protecting children is not the responsibility of government alone. It is a shared obligation involving families, educational institutions, religious and traditional rulers as well, civil societies organizations, the media, security agencies, and every responsible citizen of the nation. Every child deserves to grow in an environment that is safe, nurturing, and conducive to learning and development.
For the organizers, the campaign is designed to move beyond dialogue by inspiring action among students, policymakers, traditional institutions, and development partners.
And the beautiful part of this thing is nobody is left out. If you do not belong to an organization, you belong to a family. If you refuse to belong to a family, you belong to a school. If you said you are not part of a school, then you are probably part of a particular community. But irrespective of where you think you fall, there is always something that you can do.
Participants says protecting children is a shared responsibility that begins in the home and extends to schools, communities, governments, and the media. They believe sustained collaboration and advocacy will help create a society where every child is safe, educated, and empowered to reach their full potential. Hadiza Galadima reporting for S24 Television, Zaria.
Women leaders, youth advocates, and delegates from across Africa gathered at the Women Community in Africa Town Hall meeting to promote women's leadership, inclusion, and sustainable development, held under the theme From Voice to Power, Advancing Women Leadership, Security, and Accountability for Inclusive Peace and Governance. The event called for greater participation of women and young people in leadership, peace building, and governance, while highlighting their role in driving Africa's development. S24's Hajara Suleiman has more. At least 5 people have been killed in a reprisal attack on 3 communities in Kupa Kingdom, Lokoja local government area of Kogi State. The affected communities, Abugi, Kuchinda, and Mikugi came under attack on Thursday by unidentified gunmen. The Kogi state government has confirmed the incident and ordered security agencies to arrest those responsible for both the killing of a herder and the subsequent reprisal attack. The violence was reportedly triggered by the death of an unarmed herder allegedly killed by a member of a local vigilante group who suspected him of cattle rustling. The incident was followed by an attack on the three communities, leaving at least 5 people dead and increasing tension in the area. In a statement by the Commissioner for Information and Communications, Kingsley Fanwo, the state government described the killings as tragic, senseless, and unacceptable. Fanwo said Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo has directed security agencies to take control of the affected communities, restore peace, and prevent further escalation. If you're just joining us, you're watching the Prime Desk on S24 television. Stay tuned for our international news coming up after this break. Thanks for staying with us. A Ghanaian court has sentenced 2 Nigerians to 20 years imprisonment each for trafficking fellow Nigerians into Ghana and allegedly forcing them into cybercrime. The suspects, Kingsley Ndifon, aged 29, and Emmanuel Akang, aged 25, were convicted by Circuit Court B in Tema after a full trial. According to the Ghana Police Service, the men lured Nigerians to Ghana with promises of employment, but allegedly forced them to engage in internet fraud. The suspects were arrested in August 2023 at Sebrepo, a suburb of Tema, after police received a distress call about people being held against their will. A police operation rescued 11 Nigerian victims and recovered 16 laptops and an iPad from the location. Investigations revealed that the victims had their phones and identity documents confiscated and were allegedly forced to commit cyber-related crimes. Police say the victims were poorly fed and subjected to physical abuse, including beatings with laptop cables and machetes. The court convicted both men of human trafficking and causing harm. They were sentenced to 20 years for human trafficking and 10 years for causing harm, with both sentences running concurrently. The Tema Regional Police Command has reaffirmed its commitment to tackling human trafficking, cybercrime, and other forms of abuse. Now, the U.S. President Donald Trump has signed a new executive order targeting the birth tourism days after his administration suffered a legal setback over its attempt to restrict birthright citizenship. The move has reignited debate over who qualifies for American citizenship and is expected to face fresh legal challenges.
Order targeting what his administration calls birth tourism, where foreign nationals travel to the United States to give birth and obtain American citizenship for their children.
Around it, from wealthy people are building businesses around birthright citizenship. That's not the way it's supposed to work. It's a disgrace. They're buying their way in.
After Trump faced major legal setback over his broader attempt to end birthright citizenship, the Supreme Court has ruled against the administration's earlier efforts, leaving the constitutional guarantee of citizenship for most people born on U.S. soil intact. Trump's latest order seeks to restrict citizenship in specific circumstances involving children whose parents are not U.S. citizens or lawful permanent residents. But immigration advocates and civil rights groups are expected to challenge the order, arguing that it conflicts with the 14th Amendment, which guarantees citizenship to people born in the United States and subject to its jurisdiction. The move could now trigger another legal battle over presidential power and the future of birthright citizenship in America. Mariam Dalhatu, S24 Television.
Thailand is hosting Myanmar's military leader, Min Aung Hlaing, in a visit that has drawn regional attention and criticism from human rights groups. The talks are expected to focus on security, trade, and efforts to address Myanmar's prolonged political crisis. Noella Samuel reports.
This morning after a deadly school shooting left 6 people dead and several others injured, prompting renewed calls for stronger school security and gun control measures. Thailand is relying from one of its deadliest school shootings in recent years after a student allegedly opened fire inside a secondary school in Nonthaburi Burin Thai province. The attack claimed 6 lives and left several others injured as authorities launched an investigation into the motive behind the violence. A normal school day turned into a scene of chaos and tragedy after gunfire erupted at Bat Sering Nonthaburi Burin Thai School just outside Thailand's capital, Bangkok. Authorities say a student allegedly opened fire inside the school, killing 6 people, including 3 teachers and 3 fellow students, before being taken into custody. Emergency responders rushed to the campus, where the injured were treated before transported to nearby hospitals, while frightened students and staffs were evacuated to safety. Witnesses described scene of panic as classrooms were locked down and police secured the area. Thailand's Prime Minister Anutin Chanvirakul expressed condolence to the families of the victims and ordered a full investigation into the attack, while directing government agencies to provide support for survivors and affected families. The tragedy has reignited concerns over school safety and mental health, with many calling for stronger measures to prevent similar attacks. Authorities say investigations are ongoing to determine what led to the shooting. Noella Samuel reporting for S24 Television.
Many thanks for staying with us. You're still watching Prime Desk on S24 Television, and now we move to our Explainer segment. Beyond the headlines, we provide the facts, context, and key details you need to better understand today's biggest stories. Stay tuned.
For many people, it's simply someone sitting in the studio reading the news. But journalism is much more than that. According to UNESCO, the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, journalism plays a vital role in society because it gives people accurate and reliable information to help them make informed decisions. In simple terms, journalism helps people understand what's happening around them and why it matters. So you may likely ask, how do journalists make sure the information they share is true? Research by the Reuters Institute for the Study of Journalism shows that the trust in the news depends on accuracy and transparency. That's why professional journalists don't just rush to publish stories just because they are trending. They take their time to check the facts. This process is called verification. It means speaking to different sources, checking official documents, and confirming information before posting it. Also, the Society of Professional Journalists, one of the world's leading journalism organizations, says journalists should seek the truth, report it fairly, and correct mistakes when they happen. That's why credible news organizations rely on multiple trusted sources instead of rumors on unverified social media posts. Think about it this way. If a video claims that the major incident has happened, a journalist won't report it immediately. They will first of all confirm the information with the police, emergency agencies, eyewitnesses, or other reliable sources. Only after the facts have been verified is the story published. And now, in today's digital world, where everyone can post information online, UNESCO says the spread of false information has made fact-checking more important than ever. That's one of the main reasons journalism remains valuable.
Now it's time to take a break from politics and current affairs as we bring you the latest from the world of entertainment. Nigeria and China are strengthening cultural diplomacy through the power of film and storytelling. At the China-Nigeria Film and Literature Symposium held in Abuja, A landmark cooperation agreement was signed between the Nigeria Television Authority, NTA, and China Movie Channel, paving the way for the exchange of film content between both countries. The partnership is expected to boost cultural understanding, expand audiences for Nollywood and Chinese cinema, and create new opportunities for emerging filmmakers. Let's now join S24's Karimat Hassan for a roundup of the biggest entertainment news making waves today.
And emotional revelations to major album announcements and fresh music. Cynthia Morgan has shown support for Mr. P, Peter Okoye, as he continues to deal with the crisis surrounding the former P-Square group. Peter has been involved in a public dispute with his twin brother, Paul Okoye, and their elder brother, Jude Okoye, over the P-Square brand, finances, and family issues. The matter has also moved to court. Amid the drama, Peter has spoken up about the emotional toll of the situation and his decision to protect his peace. Reacting to his struggles, Cynthia Morgan shared an emotional message about the challenges entertainers face behind the scenes. She noted that artists can be dealing with pain, grief, and heartbreak, while still being expected to perform as if everything is fine. She then sent a message to support Peter, quoting the Bible, "The Lord is close to the brokenhearted," and wishing him peace and salvation. Meanwhile, fashion entrepreneur Toyin Lawani is opening up about one of the most difficult periods of her life. The celebrity stylist revealed that she battled paralysis, a condition that left her bedridden for 6 months. She also underwent several surgeries during her recovery. Her revelation gives fans a glimpse into the struggles she faced and away from the glamour and spotlight. And on the music scene, Ayra Starr is counting down to the release of her third album, Stargirl. The 16th track is set for release on August 14th and features major names including Wizkid on Gimme That, Rema on Who's That Girl, and Zayn Malik on Heaven Baby. Ayra unveiled the track list through an interactive AR experience called the AR Starry Sky Hunt, giving fans a creative way to discover the song. After an intimate listening party in New York, the singer is also set to perform on today's show as anticipation continues to build around the album. And while Ayra Starr is preparing for her big release, Fireboy DML has also dropped a new music. The singer has released Class, featuring a Jamaican dancehall star Massacre. It marks Fireboy's first release of 2026, combining his Afrobeat sound with Massacre's dancehall energy. The track is already gaining attention, reportedly crossing 25,000 YouTube views within the first 10 hours. With fresh music from Fireboy and Ayra Starr's highly anticipated album just around the corner, the Nigerian music scene is certainly keeping the mood. With fresh music from Fireboy and Ayra Starr's highly anticipated album just around the corner, the Nigerian music scene is certainly keeping things moving. Karimat Hassan, S24 Television.
Let's take a look. Thank you for staying with us. Let's take a look at what's happening in the world of sports. Nigeria has produced another historic moment in athletics as Jessica Oji becomes the country's first ever world under-20 champion in a field event. The 19-year-old secured gold in the women's shot put at the World Athletics Under-20 Championships in Eugene with a winning throw of 18.08 meters. Oji's victory comes just 9 days after she won silver at the Commonwealth Games, completing a remarkable run of success on the international stage. Her achievement marks a new chapter for Nigerian athletics, a nation traditionally known for sprinting excellence, but now making significant progress in field events. From a historic moment in athletics to a major development in European football, one of the world's best midfielders could be heading back to Spain. Manchester City midfielder Rodri has reportedly chosen Barcelona as his preferred destination, with the Spain international agreeing personal terms with the Catalan club. Barcelona has now opened negotiations with Manchester City over a transfer fee as the Premier League champions look to secure the best possible deal for a player who has been central to their recent success. Rodri, who won the 2024 Ballon d'Or, has played a key role in City's dominance, helping the club win multiple Premier League titles and the UEFA Champions League. While personal terms are reportedly agreed, the final decision now depends on whether Barcelona and Manchester City can reach an agreement. And this brings us to the end of the Prime Desk on S24 television. But before we go, a recap of the top stories. Directed the EFCC to vacate the court order freezing Osun State government accounts, saying the timing could undermine confidence in the state's upcoming governorship election. The PFIPC investigation takes a fresh twist as the family of detained suspect Adeniyi Adeyemi accuses a House committee of attempting to question him in custody without his legal representatives. And internationally, Thailand hosts Myanmar's military leader Min Aung Hlaing as regional leaders discuss security and trade amid growing criticism from human rights groups over the visit. Do join us same time. Do remember to join us next time and follow us on all our social media platforms at S24 Television for more updates and breaking stories. I am Gloria Atta. Thanks for watching and bye for now.